session as well. Before we continue any further, I just wanted to let you know that we will be recording today's session because we would like to put it up on Facebook. So if anyone has any objections, then you can keep your camera off, or we will do just filming the speaker view only. And we can do it like that if that's your preference. So let me know. You can send me a private message if you have any issues. Okay, I'm going to crack on and share my screen. Bear with me. Where's my presentation? Okay, right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Now we can.
Now you can? Okay, wonderful. Thank you. So today's topic is all about confident coaches, building your practice with an impact. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Monica. I'm the co-founder of Reach Outstanding. And the stars of today are going to be Lynn and Philippe, and they'll be introducing themselves shortly as well. And we greatly appreciate our audience being here today. And this is very much an interactive session. We're going to really look to you to ask those questions which are important to you or maybe on your mind around the subject of building your own practice and, you know, some of those things that you may find challenging that you want to talk to us about today. This is a trusted and safe environment, and we would welcome everyone respecting each other and giving each other that platform to share and express. So as we move forward, so our series of webinars is all focused on raising the confidence and expertise for coaches and clients. So as coaches, how do we build that presence? What are all those amazing things we can do? And then that impact that it then has on our clients. So the 4 topics we'll be covering over the next few months. So we've got today's session. Next month, we'll be talking about the art of storytelling to inspire your people. We'll then talk about how to use effective feedback to enable the most difficult conversations. And this is relevant for all of us, whether we're coaches or in our day-to-day jobs. And then finally, in September, we'll be talking about getting creative within the coaching profession. And at the start of each month, we will be sharing the information on social media. We can also share the information with you. So if you want to share your email addresses, we can actually push that out to you and you can register for that. So thank you. And as we continue, what I would like to do is ask our leaders of today's session to introduce themselves. So I've spoken about myself. So I'm Monica, 20 years of corporate experience, hugely passionate about people and making a difference. And the coaching profession is something that I'm hugely passionate about. I'll now hand over to Philippe to talk more about himself.
I'll be short. I'm Philippe. I have nearly 30 years of corporate experience. I've been a coach for about 10 years in total, executive coach, and just like Monica, passionate about helping people and making a difference in people's life. Now let me hand over to the co-star, Lynn.
Co-star, I love that. Thanks, Philippe. So I'm Lynn Sabo. I have about 30 plus years in corporate and government experience. So I come from the engineering field, and most of my career has been as an engineering manager, a program manager. About 29 or so years ago, I started in what is now executive coaching, only it was called coaching at the time. So I've seen the entire spectrum of development of the profession from before the time that some of the major capability stood up to support coaches. And now I have been doing only executive coaching for the past 4 years.
Wonderful, thank you. And so, just a few words. We've got their award winners. We've got the fact that it's combined 100 years, which when we first wrote that down, we giggled because we thought, is that really the case? But when we put everything together, we were close enough. So we've really got a team of people that bring that knowledge and that insight and that learning as well. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more from them. So as we continue, I would like to hand over to Philippe to talk about why this topic is so important for us today.
And thanks, Monica. And one of the things we wanted to do is make it real. So the reason behind this topic is both Lynn and I have been there. We totally understand the challenges we all face as starting out a coaching practice. And also really importantly, we wanted to share experience of getting it wrong. Because believe it or not, it doesn't come naturally. We weren't born with a magic wand that allows us to just tap and generate multi-million dollars, Singapore dollars, or whichever currency you fancy to be, and how we transform from the wrong to moving to getting it right.
And we want to share what's worked for us to support you all and also to pay it forward so that you can hear the things that have worked. We think that there is enough work out there for everybody because the coaching industry is continuing to grow. And I thought it was absolutely phenomenal that in 2019, it was worth $2.849 billion, according to the International Coach Federation. That's absolutely unbelievable. So there is plenty of opportunity for everybody.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. And just to echo that for sure. And sometimes we feel apprehensive. What is the coaching profession going to do? Where is it going to go? And all the reports are saying that it's continuing to grow, that demand is continuing to increase. And last year really demonstrated the need for people to invest in themselves and for organizations to invest in their people. Thanks, guys. Okay, it's time for some interaction, and what we would like for you to do is to use the chat facility and tell us about some of the things that you're experiencing. It could be something you've experienced in the past a while ago or something that's pressing currently. And that's what is challenging you in your coaching journey? That's the first question. And then what limiting beliefs might be holding you back as a coach? So if you can share some of your experiences in the chat, that will be great. And then we can then talk more about it and take it from there. I'm just going to stop the share so that we can see each other, and then also we can look at the answers as well. So feel free to share some of your insights and experiences. Otherwise, I may put people on the spot. Who's found it to be a smooth and easy journey? Put your hands up.
I don't see any hands, Monica.
I don't see any hands.
That's quite funny, that, yeah, no hands.
Yes, so
Wait a
no
minute.
hands.
And people are turning off their video.
Okay.
It's like, oh, don't roll on me.
Okay, so Patty's actually shared a comment. I have been hearing many folks talk about finding new clients as an issue. So panel, what would you like to say about this one?
Well, I think that's a big challenge. And one of the things when I first started out, I was trying to get hours. And I was telling everybody, I mean, literally everybody, every place I went, that I was an executive coach. And all of a sudden people started asking, what was that about? And how could it help? And then people would take me aside, even after an exercise class, and ask if I could help them. Now, in the beginning, I did it for very little. And it was either pro bono or I was doing something that was very meager. So it was to gain lots of hours, but it also gave me a lot of experience. What did you do, Philippe?
Well, one of the thing is I've noticed is choose the size of your dot or your spot and choose it really, really small. So let me be slightly geeky and give you stats. So in the ICF, there's 1,400 MCCs. If you sold each of them one single coaching package of $2,000, you'd make instantly $3 million. If you did the same with a 15,000 PCC, you would make $30 million. The point behind those stats is don't try to sell coaching to 8 billion people. Get a tiny spot, know your spot really, really well, know what makes those guys tick, and stick to it. Because if you think about it, as I said, 15,000 people is tiny for the planet. If you know those and you know what makes them tick, look, one package generates 30 million. So I've seen loads of new coaches who try to say, my niche is everything, and then nothing works. And then you wonder why nothing works, because you can't know a really, really big niche. So the tip is starts tiny. And when you master one, just if you really want to increase, grow to a second one. But don't, and I'm going to use an Americanism, don't try to boil the ocean. It's not going to work.
Wonderful, thanks.
And let me just add to that, Monica.
Okay.
Please consider getting testimonials from anybody that you support. Okay, even if it's for a small amount, get testimonials and ask for referrals. Okay.
Brilliant, really good tip there. And then Ian's raised a point which I know many people experience, which is being the person that has to cover all sides of the business. If you were to share one tip each, what would it be?
I won't be a gentleman, I'll start. And you don't have to be. You can actually choose the bits you choose to cover and the bit you delegate. And my favorite pet hate for me is social media. I absolutely hate doing social media. You can find from the most expensive world agencies to the smallest group of even potentially interns who know social media and enjoy doing social media and just have them do what you don't like. So that was my 1 minute tip.
Your 1 minute, Lynn?
I don't like some sides of the business, like marketing. Okay, I just hate it. So I try to find ways to get clients where other people are really doing the marketing. And often that is through subcontracting. And that means you sell your capability to a company that has lots of coaches and become one of theirs. Okay. Doing a website, look for opportunities to do one for free. Do it yourself. Being able to be self-sufficient about some of the things that could be really expensive is also a way to save money.
Okay, great, brilliant. Thanks for those tips. So Neil's talked about the fact that he's an internal coach within a nonprofit organization, and he's raised another point as well, which is you would consider coaching as a side gig. You did coaching earlier, but that flopped. So there are experiences of people who have tried maybe as a dedicated thing that they've done, and then what kind of tip do you have with that? And then I'll go to Peter's comment.
So I'll start out. The internal coach. I was an internal coach for many years. It is a wonderful way to get referrals. So don't be afraid to start your own business while you are an internal coach. Do a good job for the people internally and then ask for referrals. And that can get you a lot of traction outside of it. What's your tip, Philippe?
Well, I'm glad you know it because you stole most of mine. And I would say absolutely that. The beauty of internal coaching, in a way, and I'm going to double quote it, is you got free clients because you don't have to do the marketing, you don't have to do the branding, but you also get an endless source of testimonial, to which is what Lynn mentioned earlier. And as you grow your list of testimonial, you instantly gain credibility, which then instantly start bringing more and more clients because if I piggyback what you said, Lynn, with the nice the website, it's really easy to do a website these days and put the testimonials on. And clients like to see those testimonials going on and on and on. So use what you have as an advantage versus a hindrance. And I would absolutely use the internal coaching to say, you know what, I have 15 clients because or whatever the number is, because internal or external, they're still clients and they're still goddamn make sure they're telling you if your coaching is rubbish. So they're no different. It just happens to be someone else paying for the coaching services than the client themselves.
And also peer-to-peer coaching could be a great way to get testimonials as well. I'm working with some amazing coaches who are even on this call today to do peer-to-peer coaching, and those testimonials could be hugely beneficial for us as well. So Peter, you've talked about the having a job, getting on top of the to-do list, and things being like a slow burn effectively. So I suppose that's something, again, when we've got a day job and we decide to follow our passion and do something different, we will have that challenge. So what would be something that, Philippe, you could share? And then we'll come back to some of these points later in the session as well.
So I'm going to sound flippant. And for the first few years, I'm going to say to do that, I hope you enjoy a little sleep. Because the secret for me, which has worked, is sacrifice sleep, weekend, or whatever, to have the security of your day job, use that income to potentially invest in your practice to build it. And then when you have that tipping point, whatever the tipping point is for you, not just in money, but in years or time, then you can move from one to the other one. The very old macho burn the bridges and just go for it. I mean, if you have a safety cushion of a couple $1 million, yeah, of course do it. But most of us don't do that. So again, as flippant as it might sound, is reduce the leisure time or sleeping time and grow one whilst you have the other one to help you as a cushion.
Wonderful, thank you.
If that answers the question, because I didn't have the context.
Do you want to nod, Peter, if it answered the question? No, it didn't.
No, I'm just teasing. It did. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Iga, I love your question. I'm going to come back to it at the end. If I don't, you can
Shout.
unmute yourself and shout, which I'll give you permission to do that. So I'm going to share the screen again and go through the rest of the things we wanted to cover. So thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I saw a lot of people nodding and taking notes as well. So definitely things and topics that resonate with many of us on today's session. So we've talked about the things that challenge us, but how about our panel? So I'm going to ask Philippe and Lynn to talk about some of those experiences that they've had with their own limiting beliefs and what's held you back. So between you, you can decide whoever's going to go first, and I'll let you answer.
I'm a gentleman, so Lynn. Oh, all right. So I'll tell you a true story. So a few years back, we were pitching for a massive pharmaceutical company. And lucky enough, we managed to get an appointment with the chief exec of the whole region. And I started pitching like proper good corporate consultant type pitching. And within minutes, it wasn't even nuts I had in my stomach, as I had no stomach left. And the reason behind that is I realized I know the square root of nothing in pharmaceutical. And he was asking me to help me coach his business and his direct and his regional VPOs, that kind of things. And the bit that helped me at that point is I actually started thinking, you're a total idiot. Why don't you do what you do best, which is coach? So instead of me pitching him, I started asking him questions like, well, what do you expect? What do you want out of this coaching engagement? How are you going to know we're helping your people? And you know what? Magically, the guy started opening. And the fact that my previous corporate experience was banking versus pharmaceutical didn't matter anymore. He was literally opening and telling me, this is a problem, this is what we've done, this is what doesn't work, this is why I need your help. And at that point, it was easy because all he needed was coaching, regardless of the sector he was in. He just wanted me to help his people to get even better. And that for me was a really kind of, I'm not going to say life-changing, but it was a really awakening aha moment. Is I don't need to pitch, because I can tell you what, when I pitch to someone who I see way above me or a C-level of $1 billion company, I freak out. Whilst if I actually have them speak and tell me what they need, hey, it's human to human. We become equal again, and it's much easier. And that for me was one of the things that held me back. Is I thought I had to pitch. And every single time, the knots in the stomach were getting bigger and bigger and bigger as we were pitching for bigger deals. So that's me. Thanks for throwing me under the bus and say you go first, Lynn.
That actually, that was a great example. My example has nothing to do with coaching. It was when I was working as an engineer in an industry that was trying to start electric cars for the world. Okay, this was in the late 70s. And I was asked to put on an international conference. Now, I had no idea how to do an international conference, what it would take, how to get speakers, how to get an entire conference set up. And it was incredibly overwhelming. So when I think about what's held me back, that was kind of a pivotal turning point for me, because I realized how gargantuan the task was going to be, and what an amazing opportunity it was going to be. So I immediately realized what I didn't know, and which was everything. And I reached out to people who did know, and they might not have known everything, but they knew segments of everything. And I put it together, used all of those incredible people as references to help me learn all aspects, and then was able to pull this together. I ended up putting on 4 international conferences with literally thousands coming from all over the world, and had speakers and proceedings. And it was kind of the start of the electric car industry. But in the beginning, I could never have imagined being able to do it. So now, if somebody says, would you like to do something, and I've never done it before, I say, sure. As long as I have now the physical ability to do it. But you can pretty much do anything if you realize that what you don't know and how you can go out and get help.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So what I've got from that is you faced the challenges, you dealt with them, and the next time it happens, you're already prepared for it. So I really like the way that you explained that, Lynn, and Philippe as well. So thank you. As we continue to move towards a session, we're now going to do a breakout session where we're going to split you into smaller groups where you'll have 7 minutes to talk about these 2 topics, which is what are some of the ways in which you can overcome your own limiting beliefs? How can you build your own confidence to positively impact your own practice? So what we're going to do is, if you just give us a moment, we're going to randomly create some breakout rooms. You'll have 7 minutes. I'll give you a 2-minute notice and also a 1-minute notice as well. So please be patient with me while I do this step in the process. Okay, I'm going to do automatically assignment, and there should be around 3 people in the room, 3 to 4 people in a room. So I hope this works. If there's any issues, I'll resolve it in the background. So just a reminder of the questions. What are some of the ways in which you can overcome your limiting beliefs? And also, how can you build your own confidence to positively impact your practice? Right. Over to you guys. You should get a notice to join the meeting room.
Yep, it's working.
Wonderful. Do you think I should give them the broadcast a message of the questions?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. So it's 58, so we finish at 5 past. Oh, where did Lynn go? Yay, welcome back, everyone. What we would like...
And we haven't lost anyone, which is a miracle of technology.
No one's gotten lost in the gap in between. So it's super to have you all back here. One of the things we would love for you to do, and that is to share what you found in the chat box. And then what we will do is, as we go through this rest of the session, and at the end we'll actually read some of your comments and your feedback. So if there were any like things that came to mind, or things that had an impact on what was being discussed, we would love to hear all of those things, and so with the other people who are not in your groups. So awesome. I'm going to hand over to Philippe to talk, or Philippe, the Tony Robbins man, which I call him sometimes. I'm going to hand over to him.
Yeah, but I can't do the voice. So this is my voice and Tony's voice. And one of the things he said is we all get what we tolerate. So if we stop tolerating excuses within yourself and limiting the beliefs of the past, or half-assed or fearful state, then you will move forward. And another thing he would say straight after that is where focus goes, energy goes. So if you focus on good thing will happen. If you keep focusing on, I can't do this, I can't do that, well, guess what? Sure enough, it's going to happen.
Wonderful, thank you. We would have loved to have heard you with the Tony voice, but maybe next time. As we move forward, I want to hand over to Lynn now, and for Lynn to really talk about some of those things that we can all learn from her and take forward in our own practices. So over to you, Lynn.
Thanks, Monica. So you heard from my story that was not even related to coaching, that if you are trying to do something that you are unsure of, find somebody who's done it and done it well. Help you. Whoops, go back. Yep. Start small, okay? Take a step at a time. As Philippe said, don't boil the ocean. And if you need to get to an outcome, look at the various steps. And that's actually a tip from neuroscience, right? To look at all the steps between where you are now and where you want to be, and not just vision the end, but write down all the steps that you have to do to get there. And then you can keep filling back in, okay? So find people that can help you. Start small, take a step at a time, write them down, and get somebody to help you as your own coach, okay? Doesn't have to be paid for. Can be a friend, a colleague, a mentor, an IM facilitator that could help you get to where you want to go and help you in your journey. Look for mentors, okay? People you have known, who have known you for a while and can give you honest feedback. And then pick something that can help you with your clients that you feel really comfortable with, so that it can help form the conversations. Something like a Hogan personality assessment, a Clifton Strength Finder, some 360 feedback mechanism, the Wheel of Life, which is free, the Myers-Briggs. Get some assessment that you feel comfortable with, that you are also getting certified in. They're very expensive, so look for ones that are either free or less expensive, or find some way to be sponsored to have an assessment.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. For me, having your own coach, like one of the things I've heard people say is, if you haven't been coached yourself, how do you know what it means to be a coach? And I think that's really powerful. And like I said earlier, the peer-to-peer coaching that I'm experiencing as part of the Reach Outstanding coaching program is really powerful. And I learned so much in every session, and I'm sure the other people who are part of it would say the same thing. And we've got different types of coaches here. We've got the business focused coaches, we've got Fiona and Sharon, who are more health coaches. And when it comes to assessments, there may be things that are specific to your niche or your industry. So it could also be valuable to have a look at what works for your own industry, and also maybe even create something that matches the needs of your clients as well. So thanks so much, Lynn. I'm going to hand over to Philippe now to talk about his tips.
There's a couple of tips that works for me. The first one is creating your mantra. And for those of you who don't know mantra work, a mantra is a sentence you repeat over and over and over again. And the way it works in the brain is, at some point it will kind of help the brain convince itself of what you say. That is an incredible, powerful mantra we use every single one of us daily. That could also really backfire if unused properly. And that mantra is I am. Whatever follows the word am, the brain will take it as gospel. So if you keep telling yourself, I am not good enough, the brain actually has no ability to disprove what's just said. So some people use a mantra, and it can be as long as you want or as short as you want to really put themselves in the move. Another one, and that one was another one that I stole with pride from Tony, was a power move. So I don't know if any one of you have seen I'm Not Your Guru. What he does literally before going on stage, he has a very set of move he does. So for me, before coaching, the thing I will always do, I will put my beads on. And I have a special set of beads that I only wear when I'm coaching. And when that happens, I become the coach. I don't judge anymore. I don't give answers anymore. I'm just there to coach and serve the people. And I've heard people who use that even for non-coaching. I have a really good friend, when he comes back home from the office, he has a thread that his or her son, his or her child anyway, gave them, and is on the mental piece. The minute he comes home, the thread goes back home, and he's a fundat anymore. He's no longer the corporate one. So all these things have the ability to kind of anchoring a set of mind. The third one might sound brutally obvious. However, is actually also what made you who you are, is remember why you did it. None of us became coaches to inflict pain. Everyone does it because you have a huge sense of empathy. You have a huge sense of wanting to help people, get them over what stops them, make them better, make them greater, make them whatever the word is. And this is why you went on that journey to become coaches and become who you are. Then Muppet hate, be present on social media. And as we mentioned earlier, there are multiple ways to do that, from simple to very, very complex with either agencies or you do it yourself. And some of you guys, I know, are whisk it of social media. So you don't have to delegate it. And if it's something you really like doing, why not? The fourth one, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth one is one of my favorite ones. And this is one the less nice part of me come out, is believe in yourself. And I know most of the people here, you have insane potential. And by now, and I'm gonna not mince my words, it's nearly criminal not to believe in yourself. I've seen most of you guys deliver outstanding results to your client, to your peers, to your coaches. So not believing in yourself for me is actually extremely selfish, because not believing in yourself means you can't deliver the best results to the people who are there and genuinely need your help. Not believing in yourself stops you doing what you do best. So please do believe in yourself. And joining associate coaching program can be multiple of different things. There are the Plumas of the world. Also, you have no idea, and I didn't have any idea, what joining pro bono coaching program can do for you. So I'll give you an example. Last year, totally oblivious of what I would do, I joined the Hunger Project coaching program, which is part of the WebEx program. Not realizing that on top of helping the people of Africa becoming physically independent and stopping the world hunger, the exposure we got out of this was phenomenal. And I didn't do it for that because I had no idea it was even there. I just did it for the fun of it. And on top of that, it helped with all of the above, because it's a small group of coaching, so you can afford to take risk, and it nearly become a group of friends. So we can ask a question between the coaches, and guess what? It gives you more practice, it helps you build your confidence, and all of the things we've just spoken about just keeps reinforcing it over and over and over again. So as I said, associate coaching program can be anything from paid program to different groups or different potential programs that are out there. And that's really, for me, those kind of, and again, they look really obvious on the surface, but they really have changed and helped me grow my confidence in building the practice.
Thank you so much. I felt like I was getting told off about it being criminal to not believe in myself. So thank you so much. And the power
It is
moves.
criminal.
Oh, thank you. And the power move, there are many studies about the physiology and the psychological impact of having a strong power move before going into a big meeting or going on to do a presentation or a public speech. So there's definitely the science behind that as well. So thank you, Lynn and Lily, for that. Look, I think one of the things that's really important for all of us is that we can sometimes come up with, we're wanting everything to be perfect. Like I want to have all these boxes ticked before I go out and do the things that I really want to do. And I really like this quote, which is dream big, start small, but most of all, start. And it's like taking hold of that steering wheel and then just moving forward, even if it's by a couple of 100 yards. The thing is that we've taken those steps. So I think that's something that's really important for myself to remember as a coach. And it's something that I share with some of my clients as well, who do face roadblocks or they're too afraid to start and move forward. Okay, so before we go into the questions and answers, we wanted to share the fact that we've got the remaining webinars coming up over the next few months. So you can go on the website and register for those. If you want to register for all 3 of them, go ahead. Or if you want to do it based on your diary, you can do that as well. So we'd love your support. And if there are any topics in the future that you want to hear us talk about, we've got other special guests who will be joining in those sessions as well, then just reach out to us and let us know. We'd be happy to work with the panel, special guests, and really design things that you guys would find useful and valuable. The other thing we wanted to share about was that we've got accredited masterclasses coming up at some point this year. So they're currently going through the process of being signed off, reviewed, and all of that great stuff. And the intention is for them to carry points from various accreditation bodies, and we can share more information on that as well. If you are interested in keeping updated and being part of these future masterclasses, then we'd love to have you register your details with us. Again, there's a section on the website where you can do that as well. Philippe, would you like to add anything to this?
Yes, a quick one is one of the next webinars we coach. I think one of the guests is Glenn. So we were talking earlier of, having yourself a coach as a coach. And a few of you have been coach, and I've been told I might be direct at times. If you want to see direct, come and see Glenn, because Glenn is one of my coaches, and he's one of the person on this planet who can seriously put me through my own paces in seconds. And on top of that, he's an amazing storyteller, has an incredible corporate background. So again, I'm not doing a sales speech because these are free, but if you want to see them or see the recording, by all means, join us.
That will be the art of storytelling to inspire your people. Okay, it's over to you guys now. Please feel free to ask any questions. We will also be checking the chat box as well. Before we do answer any of the other questions, I will come back to Iga's question. If you are not following us on social media, please feel free to follow us. Lynn and Philippe are both on social media, and so is Reach Outstanding as well. So thank you all for your time. I'm going to come off the presentation mode so that we can start to talk about some of those amazing questions that you have. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Iga's question. Right. What is the future of coaching? What type of coaching do you think will be trending from 2022 onwards? Please feel free, other people can join in on this conversation as well. I'll hand over to Lynn first.
Oh, great. So I think there is a trend, two trends that are going to reshape the coaching world. And one is companies selling coaching services to major corporations. I think this is a trend of the future, that individual coaching may be surpassed by coaching from companies that sell entire blocks of services for everybody in the company. And where it had been just for kind of the elite, the higher level, I think coaching is becoming so much more popular that it is going to expand, and has already started to expand to everybody in a company, and that makes it very costly. So companies are looking for less expensive ways of doing it. So that's trend number one. The second is developing internal coaching cadres in major companies. I'm not saying this is a good trend. I think that's really a challenge, because people doing double duty, which I personally did, it takes for a couple of you who are internal coaches as well. And you know that takes a toll on you in both regards. You always feel torn that you aren't doing the right by the other thing that is demanding your time. And then actually I have a third one, and that's the rise of kind of artificial intelligence to be used in coaching, and asking for a coach kind of online. And it's going to start out awkward, but I think it's going to progress and progress, that quite a few people will gain from just engaging a coach almost online, almost like we ask for music online, ask for some coaching help. Philippe?
Thank you. Anything you want to add? A short answer?
Yes, so I'll go super short. And the first trend, I think, is going to be team coaching, where companies want more to coach the whole team or the team as a whole versus a set of individual. And that one being self-explanatory, I won't elaborate. But the second one I see more and more is 30-minute burst coaching, where the client wants you to have a full coaching session, perfect end result in 30 minutes. And I have more and more of clients and companies I work with who ask for the coaching session to be 30 minutes. It's easier in the diaries. It's way more costly on the coach, because you really have to be top of your game to deliver results from scratch in 30 minutes. And that's the trend I see more and more. Short enough?
Thank you. Thanks. Has anyone got any other questions, or even that they would like to share? It sounds like you talked about some really amazing things during the breakout session. So if anyone wants to share it with the wider audience, please feel free to do so. Someone put your hand up before I pick on one of you.
Man, I can't believe you guys are shy.
Fiona.
My question is to Lynn, actually. Just to repeat, I missed, unfortunately, I don't know why, but my audio kicked out. What was your number 2 on that, please, Lynn, of your what is the future of coaching? I got the companies selling services, and then I got the rise of our AI, but I missed the second one.
The ability to coach people at all levels, that it's expanding to people down to even, new employees almost. I mean, it is expanding to everybody. So it is so much more prevalent to be able to ask for a coach. And there's no longer a big question about it. Like, do you coach football or baseball? People understand what an executive coach is.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Peter, do you want to share your experience about having your own coach? Because I've seen a comment around that. How has it helped you?
It's a new thing, and I intend to have more than one coach, actually. But the person I've started with over in Canada has been going through a situation herself. She's a new coach, and therefore we've sort of declared each other an accountability partner. So I dare not turn up every 2 weeks not having done what I said I was going to do. And I've got a list on the board there, all sorts of things I've got to do to just move it on a little bit in terms of setting my practice up. And every day I try and stick a little tick on that board. So I'm starting with the simple stuff. And then when I speak to this person a week on Wednesday, I know I'm going to have a few more things on there, otherwise I'm in big trouble. But that definitely helps. And we do the same in reverse as well.
Wonderful. Does anyone want to...
Sorry,
Sharon? No, go ahead.
That's what we were speaking about in our breakout room. It's about, if you've got the things that you want to do, it's about making yourself accountable for it. So I think he's left the group now, but he was saying that he's just put his website out, and he felt scared that he'd done it because he was scared of the reaction of people. But it's just, once you've put it out there, you're accountable then to move it forward and to make it grow, rather than, keep it inwards and not do anything about it. That's where your limiting beliefs start to manifest. So I think he did a great thing by just putting it out there and then going, crap, sort of kind, what do I do now? And so accountability is a really big thing, I think. It definitely moves us forward.
Patty had an amazing point earlier, which is asking what is happening for you versus to you. And one word can make an incredible difference to the mindset, because a for you naturally implies that no matter if it's good or bad, you're going to learn from it and you're going to move forward to it. Whereas a to me is like, oh, why is this happening to me? I'm the victim. Versus for me, this is great, even if it doesn't feel great, but this is great. I'm going to grow from it. So that was a point I really wanted to highlight. Thanks, Patty.
Yeah, definitely. It's a mindset thing, isn't it? A perspective of how we look at the circumstances that we're in. Iga, you're quiet today. Do you want to share something?
Monica, while she's getting unmuted, Andres helped me remember my second point.
Yeah.
And that was, Fiona, the growth of internal coaching programs in those companies. Thanks, because I'm doing these off the cuff. So don't ask me to remember. I'm just kidding.
Hence the recording. Iga, I loved what you wrote. So do you want to do a bit of a reflection on that one?
Yeah, we were obviously me, Niels, and Natalia in a group, and so we discussed about being scared and also not good enough, and social media and starting our business. So I think it really resonates what we shared, what can help as well. So there were ideas of getting our coach and listening to the feedback as well, what people say about your skills, because sometimes it feels like, oh, I need this training, or I need this, I'm not good enough, I need to learn and learn. But then I had yesterday a conversation with one of the master coaches, and he was advising just practice and get a mentor to review your recordings as well, so to get the feedback. And I think from our mentoring sessions, it really helped, because you could see, what you're focusing on, and also you're learning at the same time. And social media, we didn't really discuss the solution, but I think it's up to, you know, what we want out of it, you know, of social media. I had a woman stalking just recently, and after my post, and she was like, but you need promotion, you need this. And I'm like, please leave me alone. I'm happy. So yeah.
Thanks. It's about standing your ground as well. So Peter, you talked about the team coaching in companies and that they're there by force, and that companies, it might result in a bad experience. And I suppose this is something that we've probably started to see, that people have coaching, and sometimes we can meet a client and they'll be, oh, we had coaching at work, and oh, I don't like coaching. Like, that can happen. So what could we do if we've only got a few seconds left, really? So if there was something that we could do to change that perception, what could it be?
Let me jump in. So the way I would do it, Peter, is I would try, first of all, determine why the resistance is there. It could be if they're resistant because they've never done coaching or bad experience, then it's on us to kind of change that. And then the next step, I would try to meet them halfway, see if I can change their mind. But ultimately, if they are that adamant that the answer is no, they become borderline uncoachable, where either you recommend another coach or you talk to the sponsor and go, you know, this one really doesn't want to be there. There's nothing wrong with that, but this is just not going to work. And it's a really crude, short answer, and I hope that helps a bit.
And Peter, I would say, if you get somebody who's had a very bad experience before, see if you can find out what was it that didn't work. And I have quite a few clients that had bad experiences before and are having a totally different, thank God, experience now. And I try to find out what didn't work. And often there are things that I'd never do anyway. So, you know, it's just surprising. And that can be something that happens with these internal coaches in a company that aren't well trained. So you may run into that. So be the good coach, and they'll have a different experience.
Thank you.
Well, wonderful, guys. It was amazing to have all of you here today. And the recording will go up on YouTube in the coming week or so. Please feel free to share, email us if you've got any questions, or like I said, if you want to be part of future sessions, or even if you want to be part of the panel, please let us know. We can arrange something in the future around that as well. So I'm just going to say bye to everyone, and see you next time.
Thanks everyone for attending. See you next
Thanks
time.
for attending. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.